Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and let me say that I agree with every word you just said, and I'm tempted to yield back, but I will not. You could have mentioned Gulf Coast Rail, but I know how supportive you've been.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for your leadership. We're glad to have 5 nominees before us to serve on the Amtrak Board of Directors and 1 nominee to serve on the Surface Transportation Board. For the Amtrak Board, the committee is considering 4 new individuals, along with current board chairman Anthony Kosha, who's been nominated for a 3rd term. Additionally, Mr. Robert Primus has been nominated for another term as a member of the Surface Transportation Board. Our chair has courageously pronounced all of the other names, and I will not try to improve on that. The bipartisan infrastructure law, as the chair just said, provided $22 billion in advanced appropriations to Amtrak over the next 5 years, with the opportunity to apply for billions more in competitive grants. Might I also say that the billions for rail at large will also benefit Amtrak, as the chair well knows. I expect members of this committee will want to know how Amtrak will use the significant funding available to it to address its operations, particularly the national network. My top priority for Amtrak continues to be the long-awaited restoration of passenger rail service along the Gulf Coast. Mississippians have not had passenger rail service along the Gulf Coast since Hurricane Katrina devastated our state in 2005. I commemorated the anniversary of Katrina just a few days ago in the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, in the beautiful city of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, as communities on the Gulf Coast are still recovering from the storm 17 years later. Restoration of passenger rail service will be a major step in completing this recovery. Unfortunately, the prolonged delay in restoration of passenger rail has moved this matter from negotiation to litigation, as our panelists are aware. In March of last year, Amtrak petitioned the Surface Transportation Board for access to the rail line between New Orleans and Mobile. The law favors this petition, but protracted litigation benefits no one, in my judgment. I had hoped to see this matter resolved by mutual agreement by this point in time. It is a proven fact that freight and passenger rail service can coexist and thrive when the operators work together. This has been the statutory model for 51 years. Additionally, when considering the historic levels of funding in the bipartisan infrastructure law available to Amtrak and the freight railroads, we are in a position to restart this service very soon, very soon. I want to hear from the nominees regarding their commitment to restoring passenger rail service along the Gulf Coast. The committee also has the chance today to discuss matters within the Surface Transportation Board's jurisdiction. The board has extensive authority to regulate railroad operations and business practices. In the past 2 years, the board has been notably active in pursuing several regulatory initiatives related to supply chain challenges, railroad mergers, and passenger rail service. In May, Chairman Oberman testified that the board has the authority it needs to conduct effective oversight in response to the present challenges facing the rail industry. I know Mr. Primus and his colleagues are hard at work to resolve several pending matters, including Amtrak's Gulf Coast petition, and I appreciate his and his colleagues' efforts. I thank each of the nominees today for their willingness to serve and for their testimony before the committee today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator.